A plane is about to land, but it's too heavy to touch the runway. We're talking 100,000 kilograms overweight. If it lands like that, you're looking at collapsed landing gear, structural failure, and a $350 million insurance nightmare. So instead, pilots hit a switch and start dumping tens of thousands of dollars of fuel into the sky. Yeah, literally burning money. This is the $200,000 decision airlines make in emergencies, and it affects your safety, your ticket price, and your passenger rights. Every aircraft has two numbers that control everything: maximum takeoff weight and maximum landing weight. And the gap between them? Massive. Take a long-haul jet like the Boeing 777. It can take off at over 350 tons, but it can only land safely at around 250 tons. That's a 100-ton difference. Why? Because landing isn't gentle, it's controlled impact. You're slamming a metal aircraft into concrete at 250 kilometers per hour. Too heavy? Landing gear can fail, wings can overflex, internal structures can crack. And here's where it gets expensive. If a plane lands overweight, aviation regulators like the Federal Aviation Administration and European Union Aviation Safety Agency require full structural inspections. We're talking aircraft grounded for days, maintenance costs up to $300,000, and potential long-term liability risk. So pilots don't guess. They reduce weight fast. Let's talk money. Jet fuel costs roughly 80 cents to $1 per liter. Now imagine dumping 40,000 liters. That's up to $40,000 gone in minutes. But that's just the beginning. Add emergency landing logistics, airport priority handling fees, crew overtime, passenger compensation under U-261-2004, missed connections, and rebooking costs. Now you're looking at $200,000 to $500,000 total impact. And here's the high-level finance angle. Airlines don't just buy fuel, they hedge it using oil futures and derivatives. So when fuel gets dumped, it's not just lost fuel, it's a risk management event that affects airline profits, stock prices, and investor confidence. This is why aviation is deeply tied to commodity markets and financial strategy. This is where it gets controversial. Is dumping fuel safe? Technically, yes, but also not that simple. Regulations say fuel must be dumped above 6,000 feet, away from populated areas. At that altitude, fuel turns into a fine mist and evaporates before hitting the ground. But environmental experts and regulators like the Environmental Protection Agency have raised concerns about air quality, hydrocarbon exposure, and long-term environmental impact. And here's the key issue. There's a regulatory gray area between aviation law and environmental law, meaning this isn't fully settled, and it's pushing manufacturers to design planes that can land heavy without dumping fuel at all. Here's a twist. Most planes can't even dump fuel, like the Boeing 737 or Airbus A320. They don't have fuel dump systems. Why? Because they fly shorter routes and naturally burn enough fuel before landing. But if something goes wrong right after takeoff, they have no choice. They land overweight and accept immediate inspection, downtime, and maintenance costs. Different strategy, same priority, safety over cost. So the next time your flight gets delayed, it might not just be just a technical issue. It could be a real-time six-figure decision happening behind the scenes. Safety versus cost, risk versus liability, time versus money, all calculated in minutes. And here's a question for you. Would you want to know if your flight dumped fuel? Comment below. If you want more breakdowns on airline economics, travel rights, and hidden systems behind everyday tech, hit subscribe, because the world runs on decisions like this, and most people never see them.